Hey guys, first regards in here, and I'll be talking about a Heroic Thunderhammer build for the Assault class in Space Marine 2 patch 13. Now, the Heroic Thunderhammer is the de facto best fencing hammer in the entire game right now. It just strictly outperforms the stats of the Relic tier, so you pretty much always pick this one up. And also, because this is a defense type fencing, I do build around gun strikes on this build, so we'll be doing that today. So, for the actual perk tree on this weapon, we do have the Electrified Thunderclap Heroic perk effect. This says fully charged attacks leave behind a shock grenade effect. So all you have to do for this one is do a single aftershock of any kind. It does not matter how charged up your aftershock actually is. Any level of charge will give you a shock area, and 2 aftershocks with perks like Aftershock Improved will give you 2 instead. So really strong option there. And also Aftershock is the only attack that will trigger this perk at all, so Ground Slam does not matter, at least for that. Now for the rest of the perk tree here, I do start off with Perpetual Strength first, moving here into the perk Fast Preparation. Aftershock preparation times reduced by 30%. You know, we are an aftershock build predominantly, so definitely pick this up. Next perk here is Perpetual Strength into the perk here Seismic Chain and Shattering Impact. You know, Seismic Chain with an 8 speed here is very fast for us. This is a double ground slam, so definitely pick this up. Moving here into the perk Perpetual Strength, down here into Aftershock. Then I grab the perk here Kill Streak into Aftershock Improved, Minora Slayer up here into Majora Slayer, and then you can really do whatever you want. I mean, I took the perk here Reeling Blow for once. It really does not matter too much. You could pick up the Dead End perk for more pommel smash damage, or stuff like Offense Initiated, or maybe even Perpetual Strength over here, and that is up to you. Now for the secondary here, I do take the Bolt Pistol Firepower variant, mainly because this one is one of the highest gun strike damages in the entire game right now, which is pretty funny because for a long time this weapon was pretty undercooked, but now the ammo economy is quite strong, the headshot damage is pretty good, and that gun strike damage is supreme, so really good option for our build here. Now for the perk tree, I do start off with the perk here Perpetual Precision first, moving here into the perk Headhunter into the perk Gunstrike Reload. Then I grab Increased Capacity, Headhunter again into the most important perk here, which is Elite Hunter. After killing a Majora's or higher enemy with a melee weapon, headshots will deal 50% more damage for 10 seconds. This is a very powerful perk effect. A 50% damage buff on your headshots for 10 seconds is very substantial, and all you have to do to actually trigger this one is just do a melee execute because it works on those as well, so definitely pick this up. Next perk here is Headhunter, down here into the perk Extended Magazine, and the final perk here is Divine Might, and that is all there is for the Firepower Bolt Pistol. Now for our perk tree here, we do go for Armor Reinforcement first, non-Fisher Gun Strikes for one armor segment. We are a Gun Strike build predominantly besides those shock areas, so you definitely want this perk. I mean, Gun Strike Armor Reinforcement is very strong in this game, though I will say, if you really want to have like a little bit more damage on your charge attacks, Overcharge is still pretty good. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution, killing 7 enemies and Rapid Stash Resource Equipment charged by 1. The cooldown is 90 seconds. Now on this build, because we have a Fencing Hammer and a Bolt Pistol, our Nova damage is not that strong here outside of stuff like Ground Pound occasionally, so having like a Melt-A-Bomb or a Crack Nade for more annoying enemies is pretty nice. Next perk here is Active Attrition. Enemies hit by damage from melee attacks execute while sprinting or dashing take 25% more damage for 5 seconds. This will apply a damage taken debuff to the enemy on your sprint attacks, so really nice there for like follow-up attacks on gun strikes and stuff, so pick this one up for sure. And the next perk here is Proven Efficiency. All team members deal 30% more gun strike damage. Into the perk here, Furious Strikes. Hitting an enemy with an attack after a jump pack dash for his jump pack's ability charged by 1, the cooldown is 10 seconds. Now, this perk just gives you free jump packs. I mean, it's a free gap close already on like a Wings of Flame build, but even on a non-Wings of Flame build here, like the Zealous Blow, I think this one is still worth picking up because really this just gives you a ton of free utility to like gap close on enemies. If you really want to take the perk up here, Smiting Angel instead, you could do that, but you already kind of one-shot the Hormigons and stuff like that on this build anyways, so I think this one's still worth picking up. Next perk here is Zealous Blow, a ground pound kill restores jump packs charged by 10%, up here into the perk Pride and Duty. After a finisher, ground pound deals 25% more damage for 10 seconds. Now this will work for like any finisher in the game. It is a very powerful perk effect, and a 10-second uptime is a very long time in Space Marine 2, so definitely grab this. And the final perk here is Ample Ammunition. Any use of jump pack reloads the equipped ranged weapon, increases damage by 50% for 10 seconds, because we do cycle back into this a lot with stuff like Furious Strikes and Zealous Blow, though I will say if you want to have commitment for like that 1-up on your jump pack potentially, you could do that instead. That is up to you. Now, for the prestige perk options, I do take Unyielding Oath first for invulnerability for 3 seconds on a ground pound. Then we go here into the perk Fortitude for health increase of 15%, and the final 2 perks here are your choice of like Scramble Targeting and Practice Aim, or Practice Aim and Hammer of Wrath, because Hammer of Wrath is like the premier no knockback perk on Assault these days, and a 30% range damage reduction with no knockback is incredible, and a 15-second uptime is just kind of insane. And that's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. I mean, the Heroic Thunderhammer is maybe not my favorite weapon on the Assault class currently, but it's still pretty good, and if you build around gun strikes that we did here, it should serve you pretty well. And hopefully this build guide helped you, and if you like content like this, subscribe for more. If you want to watch me live to ask me questions about the game or just coming out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description. I'll send a link to my community Discord. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.
Our objective is to secure the cyclonic warheads at all costs, encountering heavy Tyranid resistance. Battle plan updated, Heraton.
I will say this weapon here is pretty good at complementing a gunstrike build, because, you know, if you're going for a fencing hammer, you're just going to take this one. Trigon, I think, would be the easiest. Trigon is really easy. Actually, yeah, Trigon is probably easier than this one. Do you have a gunstrike build anyways? Definitely is. Trigon is just time consuming. He doesn't really do anything hard. You read the Trigon's the hardest, the easiest. The Vortex Beast is the hardest. I think the Vortex Beast is just a, I mean, it requires the most timing, which kind of inherently puts him as the hardest. I think that's what most players struggle with. What damage does the Shock Circle do? Same as a normal shock nade.
The vessel bemoans its parasitic invaders. The wrath of Espandor itself will avenge its crew.
You forgot the Trigon existed? That was an old-ass update now. That was April last year. So that was like... Okay, I keep bringing... I don't mean to playing it so much, but I keep bringing up Commitment. So with Fury Strikes, gotta be a little more careful in that.
Large Tyranid organism destroyed. The enemy bolsters their forces. Ready yourselves. Find a Tyranid on my mark.
FTG, what's your Vanguard buff wish list? I think, okay, it's pretty simple. I'm not a demanding person, but if I were, I would demand overcharge on Vanguard. And after that glorious overcharge is on my Vanguard, then we'll move on to the true prize, which is grapple targeting that functions. Well, FTG, how are you? What's up, Shard Block? We're doing pretty well.
Behold the might of the Imperial Navy. If only we could level these weapons at the hive infecting the ship.
Microplasteel poisoning is lowering my gene seed count. Now we've lost many chapters to the microplasteel poisoning. Vortex Beast requires you to make so many parries in a row unless you're running Tech Marine at the Ardent Edge. The only reward is not getting bulldozed as own gun strike. I mean, that parry combo is actually pretty easy. The thing is it's just a timing thing. I would say the hardest part about the Vortex Beast is when he endlessly spams you with an overhead into a laser beam, and that's probably the hardest part of the time. That's the part that'll actually kill you most of the time, if you don't play him like religiously. Hive Time reminds me of the Griffin from the Witcher 3. Pretty easy to beat once you get the moves down. You know, Witcher 3 actually had pretty decent boss fights for a game that had as many as it did. Granted, like things like the Cockatrice in that game and the Griffin, and what was the other one? One more of the winged ones. Oh yeah, the Basilisk. They all have a pretty similar moveset, but they did a pretty good job. It also helps that there's like a lady going like, "Hey, yeah, every single time you kill them.
Alpha beasts eradicated.
Come on, guys. Burn.
Formidable tyranny organism terminated. Inserting fresh magazines. Rearming war gear.
Ours would be neat. Actually, be careful. Your back looks like it's hurting from carrying the Imperium, dude. Look at the Emperor, man. The Emperor's back must be like the most painful back of all time. That guy's got a Ronnie Coleman back, and, and like 11 surgeries ain't fixing it. Okay, let's go up here. That's KBH, right? Yeah.
One of these symbols. Leave it be.
SN2 and Doom Eternal are the two games where the max difficulty plays the proper way to play the game. I would agree.
Excellent work, brother.
KBH. The back hurting from carrying chat. Alright, brother. Hope he's got an ergonomic throne pad. Yeah, he's got the Herman Miller throne.
Silence the enemies before they request backup. Replenishing ordnance. Tyranids have unleashed a sowing throat. Tyranid leader bits destroyed.
Right, that made it up in the strat. At least our battlefield looks cooler now.
Inserting fresh magazines. The spirit in ascent.
Of course, I mean, there. I know it may not look like it, but I promise you, the Volt Pistol's actually pretty good against these guys.
Tyranid psycho neutralized. Replenishing ordnance.
This requires you to actually get the execute on one of them. Why are you so good at this game? Dude, when the fuck did I ever say I was good at this game? Tried to melt the bomb. Also pretty sure I got hit in the face by a ball there. Oh, this beat him. There we go.
Sequence accepted. And the machines thrum once more.
That's all you played, probably.
Engineering networks
Games do be like that.
to functionality. Machine spirit, we must proceed towards the plasma reactors at once. The lift platform is in transit. Arrival pending. We descend to bring light to the darkness. Attention boarding party.
Doesn't Heavy Bolt Pistol get a significant damage multiplier against stone throws? Heavy Bolt Pistol has a high headshot multiplier for them, but this one also does. The only one that kind of sucks against them is the
Redirecting along newly advised
plasma.
path.
Plasma will shit on you a little bit.
Presence of Xenos. Cyclonic armament secured for now. All squads, whittle up Piriton. Reinforce Octavio and protect.
Because he has 2,800 hours on this game, he even asked for an absolute plus. Bro, we got like 5,600 hours. No, we got 5,400 hours on this game now, almost.
Some time to prime the armaments. When you reach the reactor's cooling console,
If By the time Space Marine 3 comes out, I genuinely think I will have over 10,000 hours in Space Marine 2. Greetings, what's up, Albert?
Warning. Coolant rods exposed. Plaza, I need you to disable the entire cooling array. Concentrate fire on the exposed cooling rods. Target the vulnerable cooling rods. Ravener inbound. It is a burrowing horror. Propulsion engaged. Block the enemy from summoning reinforcements. Our foes attempt to call up fresh forces. Opening vertical attack vector. Tactical preeminence. Rearming walking. Ravener status. Dead. The coolant rods are revealed. Replenishing ordnance.
See, with Elite Hunter and ample ammunition, your range damage goes through the roof. Oh, there's a restorative stim back there, so I guess let's use this.
Elements of the cooling rod array are closed.
We actually kept the frags. You gotta play a game if you're not having fun, Mang.
Sully the Imperium secret
When did I ever say I wasn't having fun? This guy said, I'm at 1,200 hours in this game, it ain't fun no more. Well, then stop playing Space Marine 2. Bro, there are a lot of people that come into chat and say shit like this, where they're like, dude, why am I burnt out in this game? I'm playing hundreds of hours in this game. Why do I not want to play anymore? It's like, probably because this is like, why do you think you have to play one game for the rest of your life?
Unleash your wrath. Cycling cartridges. Munitions replenished. One step closer to the reactor overheating. Registering extreme temperature fluctuation.
Well, that's why I think that what they did with the difficulty is overkill for most players. Putting Terminus plus multiple extremis and dozens of drawers spawning all at once. I mean,
Excellent Titalasso.
thank God there's multiple other difficulties, right?
The secondary. Access granted to the bridge console.
People can play lower difficulties. Highest difficulties are just for those who want it. I mean, exactly. You don't get anything past Ruthless for playing Absolute anyway, so like maybe more XP. But like you should get more XP for a hard difficulty, no? Especially the base difficulty. But the game was at a sweet spot of the difficulty, but they went overboard. I mean, people solo Absolute and hard strats all the time, so clearly not. I mean, a difficulty in a video game is going to be inherently gatekeeping, because that is its purpose. A hard difficulty is there for players of a higher skill level, and lower difficulties the opposite. And it's been that way in pretty much every game since, you know, ever. Absolute ain't even hard, it's really not. That Absolute now is easier than Ruthless was at launch in some ways. Or the Lethal Perimeter was. Or the launch Lethal is probably harder than Absolute is now. Okay, dude.
Opening vertical attack vector.
Should I play other Warhammer games, read lore, build, and paint models, or other things you can do? That's true. I do wonder this myself sometimes, where I'm like, if I didn't have a community of people around me who love 40k and love Space Marine 2 every day pretty much, that were constantly talking to me, constantly being like, you seen this thing? Are you excited for this thing? I don't know how much I would like continuously playing the game. I have to wonder. Like, you know, it's just human nature to enjoy things that other people enjoy. Like, this is how hype trains start in the first place, where like one person will see like, hey, everybody really likes this thing. Maybe I should like that too. What's so cool about this thing? And that's how like little fan bases get formed. It's pretty obvious, but or my perspective on this game would be if it was just me in like an empty video chamber making stuff for it all the time and never seeing like positivity about the game. I'm your #1 fan. But your name is I don't like to watch. So how can that be true? I hate when the Biopores run away like that, yeah. Do you think you can solo all of Europe? I don't know if we could do that. The Space Marine 2 Dark Tide Roulette is true and goated. I mean, it is. A lot of overlap between the players. It's irony, FTG, come on, dude, yeah. I don't even know the meaning of the word. Bro, a heat wave is soloing Europe right now. Not a high bar. The problem is 0.1% players will just keep raising the ceiling of their masochism, and they'll keep putting rewards and better XP and such resources behind it. Okay. What is in there in the game that is only required for like masochist players? A masochist player difficulty. Nothing. You might get accolades faster if you do the hard difficulties, but you should know. Also, it's not the top 0.1% of players that are able to do absolute difficulty. I think it's probably less than, it's probably a significantly larger portion of the player base. 0.1% would be like true solo. If that.
Be advised, we remain under heavy Tyranid assault. Heat from the plasma reactors will roast them in their foul carapaces. This is ill-advised, Talassa.
Irony? Sorry, I'm iron deficient. Well, you better join the Iron Hands then. Fix that.
will redouble our efforts to draw the Tyranids away from your position instead. Keep the Xenos curse, fire and fury Octavio.
The fact that they do ordeal grinds from behind absolute definitely reflects that people are playing absolute difficulty more than not. Well, yeah, they have the metrics. I don't think they would have done that otherwise. Nightmare mod solo is closer to the 0.1%. I mean, there's probably Nightmare mod solo. How many people have done that? That have posted it? Probably like 10, maybe 20. People who have played it, who knows? That's way more than 0.1%, or that's way lower than 0.1% of the player base. So I'd say, I don't know, how many players are true soloing in Space Marine 2? I'm sure Saber has a metric somewhere. I imagine not a lot, because there's not much point in doing it in a lot of cases. I don't even know why I do this. I do see some really dumb takes on true solo. People are like, oh, this build only works in true solo. I'm like, well, what the fuck is not working here? I mean, it's no different than if your entire team died. Loves a beautiful mountain. Not everyone's reporting it. I mean, that's true. You don't know, but I would still go. Just if you look at like the total downloads of Absolute Plus, it was like 500 people. How many people were trying to true solo that? Actually, it's probably less than that. Gertrude still show funny little builds upload to an audience. Well, normally, the only thing that I think can be easier at times are like the heroic bolt sniper if you're completely by yourself. But every other build pretty much is like entirely better in groups. The game is just easier in groups. I mean, 2 extra team perks, even though some of the worst team perks in the game are still pretty good. The only ones that are like true stinkers in this game are like squad cohesion and melee champion, and most people don't take those anymore. Alright, let's go over here. I would enjoy it. Insanely fun for pushing solo. Absolute Plus is fun for solo, but okay. But I would still say it's probably 0.1% of all players. Probably less. Probably far less. If you just look at like number of players, first of all, most players don't have access to mods in this game on the consoles that are like inherently limited. Do you think the reword melee champion, a rework of the melee champion called Vanguard, if we rework the worst perk he possibly has, yeah, I imagine that would help. I don't know, will making one of the worst perks in the entire game better help the class is on. Maybe. But honestly, it'd be pretty hard to get it up to like... to get it up to the other ones he has right now. What do you think the Heroic Pyro Blaster perk is going to be? I have no clue. I don't actually even... I have not really thought about this a ton. We're going to go here and back in. I imagine it's going to be pretty good. Whatever it may be.
We have lost contact with Heraton leader, and Octavio is pinned down. You must destabilize the plasma reactor. Our brothers from Phaedrus and Heraton shall not have died in vain. We have reached the plasma reactor units. Counteraction. Zealous Alpha Base eradicated. Adequate thrusters. Tactical pre-eminence. Formidable tyranny organism terminated.
There we go. We got our beautiful shock area spam. I'm stoked for the new Power Fist. I hope it's good. It seems like a really gimmicky weapon, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like it's gonna be a hugely gimmick weapon. Oh, I also skipped over the restorative stim way back when. I forgot about that. What do you think the Heroic Stalker Bolt Rifle perk will be? Probably something around headshot damage. I'd be very shocked. Or ammo economy. Those are usually the two. What's up, brother? How's it going? What's up, man? Can a Nintendo Switch run Siege Wave 25? Now we're asking the real questions. Probably not.
Access granted.
Every night, Saber wakes up in a cold sweat and is like, we only got to Wave 24 and the FPS just dropped to 2. We have to postpone the Switch launch, and Focus just says no. Focus just says, any players who buy it on Switch 2 are so casual they'll never touch Siege to begin with, let alone hard mode Siege.
The reactor and its guardians await.
Oh, okay, we'll take that, I guess. Bro, my Xbox can't. PC can't run Wave 25, true.
Waiting on you.
Not gonna be nearly as good as the balance for block versions, I think. I mean, that's true for 99% of things.
That reactor must be destroyed. Honor for us. Honor our chapter.
What the rudest combo you could have done to me there? Dude, what is going on? Can you just get the fuck over here? What a riveting boss on this build.
Here it comes, brothers.
Yeah, damn hammer on your Iron Priest, same ravine. I hope the Space Fool's cosmetics just keep coming. Yeah, it's funny that somebody actually asked Focus, like, will we get a round shield? And it was just like it's a moment where like the Focus community manager is almost like they obviously know it's coming. And they're like, wow, I guess it's just like straight up guess what we're coming out with. I didn't say that, but they're like, I mean, like, how do you even answer that? It just looks like they have insider knowledge at that point. Thunderhammer on Tech Ring when? That'd be nice. Is this game your favorite game of all time? At least top 5? I mean, definitely top 5. Well, I was talking about this earlier, that, like, in a lot of ways, I'm like, will I ever be able to forget Space Marine 3 when FTG is long gone? Like, 'cause I don't know if I'll be making, I doubt I'll be making Space Marine video game content in 30 years, you know? Unless there's like a Space Marine 7. But when FTG is like long retired, I will probably think about this game when I'm like 80 years old. I'll be an old man in a nursing home being like, you know, kid, I used to sell the Hive Tower, whatever you say, old man. FTG played Space Marine Classic on the private server in 2016. Yeah. How are you doing the double slam so fast? Because the heroic hammer. How fast it is. The honorably discharged guardsman arc? Yeah, me 80 years old in nursing home. I remember they brought back the Emperor FTG in 60 years. Very easy boss fight with armor reinforcement in general, but armor reinforcement especially kind of like takes our loss potential down to like 0. Doesn't mean it won't take a while, though. I see that one guy at peak in high school, so he's peaking Space Marine too. Or probably not. I wouldn't even say Space Marine 2 is my peak in general. I think it'd be that, but your muscle memory will be peaked, true. Or when I hit 10k hours, Red Knot SDG. I don't know if I consider the 5,000 hours I spent in the game to be a peak of anything, of any kind. Maybe a peak in time investment of questionable things. Jake Sully's slander is peak. Yeah. If you have a new snake, the species is called a boa constrictor imperator, which is so 40k sounding, yet I'm still to name her. Any ideas? Just call it,
Engage the console to cripple the reactor.
Oh no, call it a Ravager.
When those magnetic stabilizers stop,
Just straight up.
for rapid egress.
And then, like, give it, like, make 2 Lego arms for it and have, like, little claws.
Prevents catastrophic plasma dispersal. Plasma cores are now exposed. Caution advised. Reactor critical to Lhasa. Disengage. Fate's hourglass runs empty. Lhasa, we're tracking your signatures. Octavio and Heraton Leader already on board. Our brothers prevailed.
I like this operation a lot, not gonna lie. I think it's the best operation they've had for Tyranid since launch. There's only a couple parts I don't like about it. I don't even want to imagine how big Space Marine 3's content is going to be. It's significantly bigger in this game, I'd imagine, because this was Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 was the most popular Saber game ever. They had a huge cash influx from this game, and they keep getting more from the post-launch patches.
Hurry! The cruiser has begun breaking apart. We will wait as long as we can.
Yeah.
Specialized war gear in action. Make haste, pilot. Brace for turbulence.
A lot of termagants back
Note
there.
for your valor to
Inferno is still your bread and butter. It's definitely a good mission. Definitely not a bad choice at all. All right. Perfect. Look at that.